All right, so there's two things I want to talk about in this video. First of all is Halo Campaign Evolved, and second is the new Ninja Gaiden game. And I'm pretty excited to talk about both of them. Have a lot of thoughts, so go ahead, relax. Let's get into it. Actually, real quick, right before, just if you can give me a moment here. If you haven't subscribed yet, go if you want to. If you want to, I don't want to say go ahead, but if you've been enjoying the content, it really helps me out. Appreciate you guys watching all the videos, but now for real, let's get into it. So after months of rumors, speculation, and of course some confirmation from Halo Studios themselves that they were working on an Unreal Engine 5 project, we have a remake of Halo 1 on the way in 2026 called Halo Campaign Evolved, and it was announced at their big championship event just this past Friday. And I have a lot of thoughts about this because it's a little weird to me, and it's a really tough situation. I grew up a huge Halo fan. In fact, Halo was like, I feel like kind of the gateway into me becoming more of a hardcore gamer. Not just because it's like a first person shooter, but I feel like it was around the time, I don't know, that was like what, 2004 was really when I got into it, and really where I started to take video games as my primary hobby and really, I don't want to say take it seriously, but really where I fell in love. There was games I loved before that, of course, but it's a very pivotal moment for me. So Halo Campaign Evolved is a basically full remake of Halo Combat Evolved, the original, and they're remaking it in Unreal Engine 5. And they've laid out that basically, like, this is a full remake. We are going and we are modernizing things by adding sprint, changing some things up. But we want to make sure that it's authentic to what you remember, I believe is what they said, is authentic to what you remember from playing the original Halo games. And they even said they're going to go in and do some even major reworks. In particular, they mentioned the library that they're going to go in and change. And that's probably for the best. That level is, I mean, an amazing level. It's so special. I vividly remember the first time playing that level and how crazy it felt. And every time playing that level afterwards and that like wow factor is gone, it's annoying. It's one of the most annoying levels in the game. So I welcome the idea of changing that level. Probably the most interesting aspect, though, is that they're actually doing, I believe, 3 prequel missions as well to add to the campaign in general. I'm curious. I'm guessing they're going to make those be a separate like thing, a little prequel 3 mission thing. I'm not really sure. I'm really curious about that. I feel like it's really risky territory, which I think it's why they should, and maybe they've said this, is that it shouldn't necessarily be you hit play and you're immediately into these extra, or not extra, but new prequel campaign levels that kind of a select, like a separate option, because I think that you got to keep the beginning the same. And it's different with like movies and I guess video games. You think about a book, you know, if someone goes and writes a prequel story, and it's not the original author, it's immediately viewed as like fan fiction. I guess there are examples where like authors have gone in afterwards and made their own stories that have become as successful as the original, like Wicked or something like that. But in video games, it's like we do this all the time where it's like, hey, the original creators, Bungie, they've been long gone from Halo. We're going to go in and add stuff to, well, of course, post with Halo 4, 5, and 6, or Halo Infinite. But now we're going to go and add stuff before also. And it feels a little strange, but I'm not necessarily against the idea. I'm open to it. The problem is I do not trust Halo Studios 343. It's not that they've like completely screwed up, because I think they have done some good things with Halo, but I think the track record overall is not great. I went and I replayed all of the Halo campaigns probably 2 years ago at this point, and immediately with Halo 4, it's like, yeah, this hits different. It's not quite the same. And Halo 5 in particular, I think, is the low point of the series. Halo Infinite, I think, was interesting and certainly was more in the right direction than Halo 4 and 5, but still, it feels different. It feels like fanfic. And maybe that's okay. We got so much good Halo content in the glory days with Halo 1, 2, 3, ODST, and Reach. I mean, there's so much there. It's time to do something different. So I'm not going to be a curmudgeon necessarily. I'm open to the idea of them going and doing these missions, but I'm not confident about it, if that makes sense. The trailer they showed off was the level The Silent Cartographer, and also a bunch of press people got to go and play, and you can go and watch their gameplay. And overall, it's mostly inoffensive to me. It looks a little Unreal Engine 5, particularly like the foliage, I think. And when I look at it, I maybe I'm getting old because I see it. I'm like, this looks cool. It looks gorgeous. At the same time, I just don't necessarily need it. Like, I want it. Like, I'm going to play it. I'm going to play it when it comes out. I'm probably going to have a great time with it. I guess the allure of a remake for way better visuals is not like it once was for me, where I've played so many games that I've seen this happen before, and it's cool. I just have a hard time getting excited about it like I used to. I did see some discussion online from, I think it was like ex-Bungie devs that were a little critical of like how there were things being moved around, and like something about how you can't take the Warthog up into the center of the map where the hunters are and stuff, and they're changing that, and that was part of the design. I'm not really sure. I'm willing to wait and see about some of those more critical design decisions that were changed. But really at the core of it, I am most disappointed that this is campaign evolved and doesn't have a multiplayer suite. It's so core to that original Halo 1 experience to me, the multiplayer. You know, I remember doing the LAN parties before the online era. I remember hooking up and using some program on my PC to play Halo 1 multiplayer online in its very rudimentary, basic way. And it was great. And I absolutely love Halo 1 multiplayer. And it's sad that this doesn't have any kind of multiplayer. And it's probably because they have plans in the future for whether it's another Halo title, or I even suggested on Sacred Symbols, my PlayStation podcast, if you guys want to go check that out with Chris Raygun and Colin Moriarty, I suggested that maybe in the future they're going to have maybe just a multiplayer Halo game, like a live service. We're focusing on multiplayer. Campaigns might be separate, something like that. I don't know. I think in the age of live service and the fact that this is Microsoft, and obviously Sony would probably do the same thing, but there's no room for just a basic multiplayer mode. There needs to be an entire multiplayer suite that has battle passes, cosmetics, and events and all kinds of stuff. It feels to me like this is the reason why this is just the campaign, is that sure, they could do a multiplayer, but they want to save it for when they can really do their more live service multiplayer. Makes me sad. I miss these more basic days of online multiplayer. Everything is big. Everything is huge. Everything needs to suck all of your time now. And I kind of just would love to hop into some multiplayer matches of a new remade Halo with some modernized controls, new combat. That sounds really awesome. So the announcement feels a little tainted for me because it doesn't have that. And of course, there's the whole element of the fact that this is launching on PlayStation 5 as well. We get really into that on the Sacred Symbols episode from this past week. So I'll link that specific episode down in the description. So please check that out. It's a little weird. It's a little not surprising, I guess, that they're doing this. It does feel like, I don't want to say a little disrespectful, but the fact that you had a community manager wearing a PlayStation shirt felt a little weird, but I'll leave the rest of that conversation for Sacred Symbols. So overall, I'm interested and I'm going to check it out, but I've been hurt too many times. I'm damaged goods from Halo Studios, unfortunately, where I've been here before. I've seen it and I don't want to hype myself up, even though what I'm seeing looks great. And I also just don't want to be like, you know, everyone's kind of complaining about the Halo fans. Like, there's no one who hates Halo more than Halo fans. And I get that. So I'm not poo-pooing it completely. I really do hope it's great. I'm just a little unsure. So I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I also wanted to talk about Ninja Gaiden 4, and this is something I'm very hyped about. And thank you to Xbox for providing this channel with a code for the game so I can tell you guys about it. And this game rocks, guys. I'm just going to say it straight up right at the top. This game is awesome so far. And I was really interested right off the bat about it. Mainly actually not because of being Ninja Gaiden, but from being a Platinum Games developed Ninja Gaiden game. And I'm never really been into Ninja Gaiden. And it's not because I played it and wasn't into it. I just really wasn't really that exposed to it, especially in its heyday. I'm sure I would have played it if I had access to it, but with a kid with limited money, it wasn't necessarily the first thing I was going for. And what was it? A few months ago when they released the one remaster, I played some of that. I liked it. I didn't love it. But as I said earlier, to me, the draw of this game was the fact that it was Platinum Games making it. Platinum Games has made some of my favorite games of all time, most notably Nier Automata, one of my absolute faves, but also many others that I really enjoy, the Bayonetta series, all-time classics. I've been a little worried about Platinum Games because some of these recent releases, I guess not even recent at this point, but like 2022 and 2023, have been a bit either light or not great at all, particularly when they tried to make a live service game with Babylon's Fall, which is already removed and gone. Thankfully, in that same year, we saw Bayonetta 3, which probably the weakest of the series, but decent. And then the year after that, they had that Bayonetta spin-off game, which I haven't played. And it's my understanding, too, that they've had a lot of mix-up with their staff, with main leadership leaving. And now that it's been since 2022 when we've had any major Platinum games outside of that spin-off game, I was like, man, what is going on with Platinum Games? And so when that got announced, I was like, yeah, I am in for that. I want to check it out. And it's awesome. As I said at the beginning, the combat of this game is absolutely fantastic. It's hard to exactly describe what makes a Platinum game feel so good. They're very smooth. They have fantastic animations, perfect kill animations, and this game is filled with those as well. But I also like the fact that they feel very deep mechanically, where you have all these different moves you can do, but at the same time, you don't have to like memorize all these different skills or like button combinations in order to pull off some of these crazy moves. So the core of this game is great. The number one thing you're going to be doing is fighting, killing, combat, and that's amazing. Some of the parts around it, though, I'm not so sure about. It feels like this game is a little bit budget. I don't want to say there isn't cutscenes, but a lot of the story to this game is told to you as you're playing through like your radio comms and stuff like that. And I got to be honest, as a not a big Ninja Gaiden guy, I know what's going on overall and what I'm doing, but I don't know about a lot of the greater context of the story. And I gotta be honest, I don't really mind because I'm having so much fun playing the game. But it feels a little bit budget. And partially that too is that the environments of this game, while they are interesting, I guess the design is kind of the part that's a little less interesting, where you're kind of just constantly going from point A to point B in this game. There's like a couple deviations where you can do some of these side mini missions, but each level area, once you've played the first section of it, you kind of know what to expect until you're in the actual next area of the game. So it can get a little repetitive, and I guess I'm on like the third or fourth area at this point. But like I said, some of these areas, it's not that it drags forever, but once you've seen like about 20 minutes of each area, you know what you're getting into. I wish the game too had a little bit more platforming to it. There are a couple sections where you can kind of sneak around on a roof and assassinate people, and that's cool. But a lot of the movement in this game is very like carnival ride-esque, where it's like, okay, we're going to have these exact points set up, hit R2 in order to grapple onto them, run on the wall. It's very predetermined. There's not very much like creativity on like how you're going to navigate from one place to another. With that being said, though, those sections are fun to do and they look cool. But yeah, there's not very much creativity or like deciding how you're going to navigate, or even difficulty in how you're going to get from one point to another. They do try to change it up, where there's some sections where you're like rail riding or other sections where you're gliding along, but they all perform about the same way. I've been playing the game on normal, and overall, it's been a appropriate challenge with some random difficulty spikes. What's weird is that the first boss, and maybe I was just kind of like getting used to and learning how to play the game, I had a lot more trouble with the first boss than any boss after. The first boss probably took me, I don't know, 7 or 8 tries. I was maybe starting to get a little bit frustrated, but I am battle hardened from playing From Software games of doing the same thing over and over like a crazy person. And so I eventually beat it. And then the second boss I beat on the first try. I think the third boss I beat on the first try. And then after that, the next boss I had a little bit of difficulty, but I was kind of getting tired, turned it off, went to bed. The next day, beat it first try. So maybe I should be on a higher difficulty, but still, that first boss really messed me up. There are a couple points too where it feels like there's a like an arena with like some monster closets or whatever that is just like, man, there's a lot of enemies here. They keep feeding me more. I'm just chill out a little bit. So, and one of those sections in particular early on in the game, I was having some difficulty with, and maybe it probably was that I was just like still learning how to play the game. But so yeah, the difficulty's been a little up and down, but normal has not been very bad at all for me. I did see that the Steam numbers on this game were quite low. And of course, this is available on Game Pass. And so a lot of people on PC are probably playing through PC Game Pass or on console Game Pass, but you really don't want to sleep on this game for that combat. It is sublime. Dude, I'm telling you, Platinum Games is back with this, and I'm so excited that it turned out awesome. And while I have these other complaints about it, I'm having so much fun playing it. I really do recommend it if you're a fan of Platinum games like Bayonetta or Nier, as I mentioned earlier, or just like that style of game. And I think that about does it for this video. So thank you guys. Let me know your thoughts on either Halo or Ninja Gaiden below in the comments. You know I love hearing from you guys. I'm always responding to various comments. So I'd love to hear from you guys down below. And thank you guys for watching this video and all my other videos. It means a lot. And I'll be back soon with more content. I'll see you guys next time.